All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, finally, after like I want to say 4 or 5 months of waiting, we're gonna install the Mishimoto intake, full intake. Check the bags already for all the parts. They have all the adapters and all that stuff. Reason I'm changing it, don't need it, but as I mentioned before, when we installed the new turbo, I had these like little rubber hoses that attach one side to the other, super bent at the back, like on this side but on the opposite side. And I have the same thing, you won't be able to see, but way down there on the turbo. So we're gonna swap that out, also get a new air filter. We'll see how it goes. Also in the process, I'm gonna get new plugs, because number one is time, and number two, I got a what do you call that, I got a code for ignition like 2 months ago. It hasn't happened since. I think it was just one of those that it just happened, nothing really bad about it. What's up, dude?
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
You want to come out?
No, I'm just looking for the pump.
The plugs that I got are not NGKs, or some other brand that were recommended to me by shop. Well, not directly to me, but I saw that that's what they recommended, and kind of don't like them. I liked them at the beginning, but when I took them out after the code to inspect them, they were the gap was a little too big, so I think that's why I got the code. But yeah, not gonna film much, because like I said, I'm gonna take this off so I can do my spark plugs. Then once I'm done with the spark plugs and I start taking everything off for the intake, I'll start recording again. So let's get started. Here, one thing I did want to film as I'm taking this off is this little bolt screw, whatever you want to call this, right here for this hose. Always hate it because it's pointing this way, like straight to the battery, and usually I have to take this off and fight with it, and you can kind of see that it's a little bit stripped from all the times that I tried doing it. So one of the benefits of having the intake, I can now have the screw facing my way straight up, so it's super easier to access, and usually I have to do that because I got to take this part off so I can do my spark plugs. So that's one of the benefits. The other cool thing too, it keeps the stock air like air vents for the box. So once I take this off, I got to take these off, put them on the new one, and then just slap it on. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Alrighty, so here's one of the issues I was having. Like I said, the pipe goes like that on the engine, and this piece right here was bent like that for like I don't know, 4 or 5 months. And so as you can see, I even lost a piece right here down the middle. So this never actually seated correctly. At least I have my suspicions that it never did. You can see right there how bent that is. The rubber little grommet right here that holds the whole thing in place, way out. It's ripped. There's a hole right there. You can't really see it on camera, but right there in the middle there's like a little cut. So yeah, this piece is the main factor why I'm changing the whole thing. This piece, and like I said, the other piece that sits behind on the turbo side, there's a little bit of oil there, which to my knowledge is pretty normal. And damn it if this engine bay doesn't need some love. But yeah, just taking that off just to show you guys. I know I said I wasn't going to record much of the process, but basically that's what it looks like, and that's why I don't trust it anymore. It's pretty trashed, and that was my fault. Nothing wrong with the stock intake. Honestly, if it wasn't because I had to change the turbo and I didn't catch this earlier, I probably wouldn't even be changing the intake. I mean, maybe, but not so soon, I guess. All right, one step I did wanted to clarify is once you have the sensor, like I said, 2016 or 2015 and up, you got this different adapter. You don't use the other one, the little bung. Gotta use this one. I was having a little issue trying to put it in. Didn't realize you really have to press this guy all the way down like that, all the way down, and then this guy easily slides right underneath. I think I might have done a little too much. There you go. Goes like that. Put the screw in here, put your sensor right there, and you're good to go. As you can see, the little plastic tab from the original sensor goes underneath this guy. I was having a little bit of an issue trying to figure it out without having to go to a video or something. And all the videos I've seen, they never explain that. They just tell you need this adapter, but just push down. They do give you a new O-ring in case yours goes bad or when you pull it out, it rips. Mine's pretty good. It's actually sealing really nicely. So all I have to do now is just drop in the screw right here, tighten it down, not too tight obviously, just a little turn, and then we should be good to go. What I'm going to do, because it's going to be a while before I get to the step to put the sensor on, I'm going to put it back in the bag. So as you can see, there's a little bit of dirt and stuff in there already. I'm going to clear it out, clean it, make sure it's all good to go. There's your sensor inside. I don't think there's any wrong way of putting it on, since they tell you the plastic tab is on this side. So as long as your plastic tab's on this side, you should be good to go. All right guys, so this is how the box goes. You got to take this rubber grommet off of this thing, which is a pain. Slide it into here, because if you put it with this still being here, it won't reach. Put your big screws right here. With the washer, they give you two little grommet adapters, since the box itself they come attached. So they're plastic, they're hard plastic onto the molding here, and they give you two new ones that you can use for here. Just leave them loose first, so you can kind of gauge where they need to go. Once you have it in place with this guy here, then you go ahead and tighten them down. I went ahead and put my carved sticker right here. Try to put it as straight as I can. I think I did a pretty good job, maybe a little bit to the right, but it's visible. But I wanted to show you this piece right here, because basically, like I said, another video has it that I've seen with this intake. So basically, this adapter just goes into the stock pipe right here, the 2013 to 14 and a half or 15. You actually have to take this hose off because they don't have a sensor here. There is a sensor, which is somewhere back here. I don't know where the hell it went. We'll find it in a bit. But it connects to this plug. Just little adapter goes into here all the way. Make sure it snaps all the way in. There's no gap here. Then you put your small ring, like this light, your small ring clamp right here, goes into the intake hose, and that's pretty much it. I was really confused as to what that is, and everybody kept saying, as soon as you see it, it'll make sense. As soon as you see it, it'll make sense. But I didn't trust it, so it makes sense. So there you go. And then this goes onto the side of the intake pipe right here, so should be good to go. All right, so one issue we ran into, you can see right here, little bracket that goes into this for the intake. You can see it right there. It's curved this way. So what we're gonna do, which, you know, happens, whatever, not too mad about it. If anything, I'm more mad about how hard it is to work on this side. A little tip that I can give you is take off that little metal bar, this guy right here. Take that off so you can lift this and get the pipe in there better. Also, let me show you. There it is. There's that adapter. So it's better if you plug it into the sensor side first and then onto the pipe. Taking this off helps out a lot to get back there and be able to clamp it down properly. So what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna grab some pliers and then try to bend this a little bit more this way. As you can see, it doesn't line up. If I push on it this way a lot, it kind of lines up, but not really well. So we're gonna have to hammer it or something, and then put it back on its place. Then after that, make sure all sensors are connected, and we should be good to go. Putting on the intake, the filter I should say, and then once I have the filter on, test it out, see how it sounds. Hopefully I get a lot of turbo sounds, so we'll see how it goes. So finally finished. Took forever. A little massage in this guy. Just know your filter is gonna hit the wall. Hold on, don't turn it on yet. Just know that this will hit the wall before you can get it in. So you need to loosen these two up, push this back, then slide this down, kind of fit it in between these clamps, and then it goes in. Then you can slide it back out or back in. Another thing too, for when you do your spark plug change, you gotta loosen this one off and then move it around. So loosen these up. So kind of like the old one, really. So yeah, we're pretty much all set. As you can see, only thing left we have is just to put the cap on, but I want to hear it without the cap first. Then we're gonna go grab the cap, and then we're gonna put it on, and then we're gonna see what that sounds like. I think I put the clamp a little too far to the right. Hopefully it'll stay. Well, it'll stay because it can't move, but I'll move that after. All right, so let's start it. All right, so yeah, that sounds pretty awesome. Close to stock, but I want to say a little bit louder when it comes to the filter making noises. The flutter is amazing. So right now what we're gonna do, or I'm gonna do, just put the cover back on, see what that's like. I did read or was watching a video where they say you lose about 5 torque and like 4 horsepower if you put the lid on, because all the suction that it creates, and since you only have these two for air going into the intake, and I don't have the snorkel up here like I mentioned in the last video, so I might run it without the lid for a while, but I do want to try it on with the lid on for now. So I'll put that on, get more reps going, and then we'll see what we keep. Alrighty guys, so finally installed everything, put everything back the way it's supposed to be. I think we're gonna go for a test drive to make sure nothing comes off loose. We do have the filter box on right now, which is not very loud. I actually revved it, didn't really record it because it made no sounds honestly at all. So we're gonna go drive around with the box on right now, and then later on once I leave I'll probably do a little shot with the box off, see if there's any difference. I'll do windows up, windows down for both. So right now we're gonna do the driving with the filter box on, windows down, and then on the way back I'll put them windows up. I do get a little bit of the air filter turbo sound, but nothing too crazy. Feels pretty good. Windows up driving and see if we notice anything. So far it's pretty quiet. I honestly feel it feels like when you have the stock intake setup and you have the box on, you know, it's barely any noise. If you get off like a really slow speeds, you can hear a little bit of the flutter, but nothing too loud compared to, as you guys saw earlier, when you have the box off you get all kinds of noise. So sounds good. If you want to keep it, you know, on the download, you want something that's a little bit more quiet for your everyday use, highly recommend keeping the box on for sure. But you know, if you want to have a little bit more fun, you want a little bit more sound, you definitely want to have that box completely off, or not the box but the lid, you want to have that off. Install on the intake, pretty straightforward. It did take me a couple hours. I wasn't rushing, I wasn't really like trying to get it done within the hour. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. All the parts are there. Again, quality parts from Mishimoto. Anything you need is on there. We actually thought we snapped one of the clamps, but we were tighten it down earlier, and I wasn't worried because they actually give you like 3 or 4 spare ones. So you know, even if you were to break or damage one of the clamps, there's spare ones on there that you can put on. And yeah, I mean, pretty good, pretty easy to do. It's quality stuff, like I said. For my preference, I like when it makes more noise, so more than likely I will take off the cover today before I leave, and then I'm just gonna drive around, see how I like it. Everything here runs the same. Let's check the codes. I only have the one code, and it's a sensor for fuel or something like that. I forget what it is, but I need to fix that pretty soon. Other than that, there's like literally no codes whatsoever. Car runs smooth, car runs fine. Pretty excited with what it is. Also, that cracking noise that I thought it was the axles, last like a week or 2 ago when it was raining like crazy here in California. Ever since then, the car has not popped or cracked once. And there's certain turns or dips that I hate on my commute to work that I know will do it. It doesn't even do it then. So I don't know if it's the axles. I don't know if there was something loose. I have to go through the whole suspension again just to verify. I do have the passenger side axle. The driver side axle is back order, so I don't have that yet. But with that being said, I don't think I'm not even have to swap the axles. Maybe I just bought them for no reason. I thought it was the axles, but it's not. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Alrighty guys, so I'm back on the road. Finally took off. As soon as I pulled up to the house, I took off the lid. So now we're running with no lid on the air filter. Like I said, you do get more turbo noises that way, but now that I have it off and the windows up, it sounds about the same as just taking off the lid of the original air filter or intake. So not that much of a difference. It does make some cooler noises, like a lot more flutter and stuff like that at a lower speed. It's kind of hard to pick up. I'm pretty sure on the GoPro I didn't set up my external microphone so I wouldn't be able to show you right now. Maybe down the road, once I get to do some other drives and stuff like that, I will have the microphone set up so you can hear the differences. Sounds pretty good. Everything's running fine. I just put some gas because they really needed some gas. So I'll just drop a little bit to show you what it sounds like with the cover off, but honestly sounds about the same. Maybe a little bit more aggressive, but not by much. Give it a little blip, you can hear the air just rushing through. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's louder for sure. I don't know if it has to do with the filter size or just the piping overall, but whatever it is, I'm glad it makes better noises. And I'll roll down the window to see if we hear any different, but I'm pretty sure all you're gonna get is just wind noise. Okay, so I'm pretty sure on the GoPro you're just gonna pick up nothing but wind noise, but actually I was wrong. You can clearly hear the difference with this. The stock air filter does make that little whooshing noise, but it sounds kind of muted, kind of like muffled, whereas this is making the noise like right here by my mirror. Like I can clearly hear it. So nice. So you know, if you're one of those people, which I am, that you like to drive with the windows down a lot, you're definitely gonna get a lot of that noise. So highly recommend you pick one of these up if you can. Again, Mishimoto, nothing but quality parts. I have no complaints other than the little bracket that holds onto the engine so the pipe can stay in place. Other than that, and sorry about this road, it's kind of crazy. Everybody drives like 20 over here and they expect you to do the same. So the minute you don't drive like they do, they just go around you like crazy. But But anyways, aside from the little arm that goes onto the block to make sure that it stays in place, being a little crooked, there was nothing wrong with it. Everything fits perfect. Everything fits the way it's supposed to be. They give you everything because, like I said, if you have a 2013 MK3, it's different than MK 3.5 for the sensor. So they give you everything. Doesn't matter what car you have, what year you have. So I highly recommend you pick one up. Like I said, if possible. It's not cheap for sure, but you know what, to me it's worth it. I don't have to worry about, you know, my piping being all bent and having boost leaks and stuff like that. Now I know that if I have a boost leak, it's easier to actually diagnose with this piping because it only has 2 couplers that can go wrong, versus the stock one, which has like 3 or 4, I believe. So, you know, for me it was worth it. Down the road, going big turbo, I'm pretty sure I will see even a better performance out of it, but for now, really happy with it. Like I said, I think next weekend I should be going to the canyons. It's snow pretty hard, so I'm not sure if there's still snow out there. I know there is, but I don't know how far up. And like I said, I might be going to different places. So at this point, I'm just rambling on and talking about everything. But yeah, just wanted to show you what the air filter sounded like with no box. Let me roll down the window. Hopefully you guys can hear this. It just sounds so good. I definitely have to set up the microphone outside so you guys can hear it better, but trust me, it sounds really good. So there you go, guys. That's the intake without the lid.